video play out a little bit so you can watch this guy kind of destroy this guitar here really well. And this guy is our special guest today. And let me bring that a little bit as he's noodling around here. This is Gerry Finn, if you're not familiar. So let's welcome Gerry Finn, guys, when we are live in Sunday Night Live.
Gerry, how are you?
Gerry.
What's going on, fellas?
Gerry. Why did I say Gerry?
Guys.
I'm doing crap.
Welcome.
We did it.
Good to see you.
Great
I missed
to
you
be
guys.
Seeing
Yeah.
you. Good to have you on, man.
So
Yeah.
Gerry is the lead guitar player in Killer Dwarfs. You are also,
Yes.
you're the band leader in Burton Cummings or guitar player?
I play guitar with Burton Cummings.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if band leader. To us, you're the band leader because you play guitar. So
Yeah.
you know the other guys, they
all of
want to
you,
be
man.
musicians.
Yeah.
So we know how
No
this goes.
keyboard.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
differentiate.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
leader.
Burton is probably the leader of the band. You know. I don't know.
Well, all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
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 I think
he
I've
play
even
guitar?
heard of that guy. Is that the guy he sings? He does the national anthem for the Calgary Flames things, right?
Yeah. He probably has. Yeah.
Yeah, he did for a long time.
Probably
Believe it, you should know that. I'm a huge hockey fan here, and I'm not from Canada.
Right.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
Gerry, first of all, I want to wish you a belated happy birthday.
Thank you, Len.
And I believe I want to give a shout out to the Dwarf Nation, to your fellow bandmates in the Killer Dwarfs, Russ, Moishi,
Moishi.
and Daryl. And didn't they all
Daryl.
have birthdays too?
They have them every year, Len.
No. I mean, like
Wait,
recently.
That's
Is
original. I
that a
like
thing
that.
in Canada where you guys have birthdays every year?
Wow.
We gotta figure that shit out. We're moving.
Yeah,
I know. It
that's
just keeps
funny.
happening.
My
We
wife hasn't
resist.
had one since I don't know how long. You know, she's still 39.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Len. Yeah. Listen, the guys, when we played your club 18 months ago, 2 years ago, we had the best time, and your hospitality was amazing. And it's so nice to see your face again and reconnect like this, even though it's a bit odd.
Yeah, you too.
You know.
Maybe if
Yeah.
we weren't going through what we're all going through, we would have had you guys back at least twice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
was,
look forward to it.
that was a really good show. I'm going to actually put up a little flyer from
Yeah.
that show. It was at the Rail in Smithtown, New York.
Yeah.
See the big Killer Dwarfs, and oh, wait a minute. There's another band that I know of. Grim Jack was the opening act for
Yeah, come on.
Oh,
that. I got to get
guys.
I got to get a little bit when I can get it, you know.
Well, Joey was kind enough, thank you, when my amp exploded, that you helped me out. So, yeah. When you reached out to me, I'm like, I remember. Yeah, you saved the day. Yeah.
See,
Jeez.
that's why I do that, just in case I need to pull a favor once in a while.
Yeah.
So we get Gerry on the show.
You never know how that's going to end up.
Yeah.
Here I am paying my dues.
There he is.
Right?
And he has
Yeah.
no idea what he's in for. Oh boy.
And I remember that night you were, for us, we were, kind of starting to elevate to having some nationals perform
Sure.
in the club.
Yeah.
And another shout out to Howie, who was actually promoted you guys to play there. I was nervous because I'm like, yeah, we're kind of on the small side, and I don't know how the band's going to react. And then you and Daryl were the first to walk in to case the club out, and I'm
Right.
going, all right, that must be the band because you guys just look like rock stars. Like, I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I gotta
Daryl
go.
does,
I
yeah.
gotta go greet these guys, make sure everything's cool. You guys kind of walked in, and you're looking around like, yeah, okay, And that was a good night because we had a lot of people there, and so it was just, But Daryl was like, my drums aren't going to fit on your stage, and
It's true. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, right? But he
Yeah.
wound up making it work, and you guys, one of the best shows I've seen. I've seen the band plenty of times in the past, but for playing there, that was one of the best nights we've had because it worked. Yeah.
Thank you, Len. I mean, to be in a band with Daryl Dwarf, right? I joined the band in 1990, and I would be somewhere in 1995, and people would know that I was in the band. They'd go, I know your drummer, right?
Yeah.
And he really is the sweetest guy, and he's this incredible, he's like a Disney character or something. I mean,
Yeah.
but he's so authentic, and you know, I introduce him to musician friends. They go, "You get to be in a band with this guy," because he's just the best, right? And I can't believe I get to be in a band with him. So, yeah, love Daryl Dwarf. He's probably watching.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
he's the best.
So, obviously, you would have been on tour somewhere before this pandemic situation hit every one of us. I know you were going to do the M3 festivals and probably going to head over to Europe. What does that do to like a band that's like yours that's ready to tour, and then all of a sudden have it just completely fall apart at the last minute?
Well, you know, it's funny, right? So, yes, M3 we were really looking forward to. That's, I think, one of the best run festivals I've ever been a part of. You know, it's so slick and they do a great job. And, you know, we're supposed to be going to Belgium in a few weeks, and there was a lot of things coming up. You know, we're in a sort of a holding pattern. We're working on new material. You know, we've got this deal with Dave Ellison's Megadeth, the bass player for Megadeth. His label, and we're going to do a new record. So we have things to do. I mean, I feel badly for young musicians who are, you know, 20 and just sort of getting started. And I mean, what we do, as you guys know, is so collaborative in nature.
Absolutely.
I wonder how this will affect their development. Now, maybe there'll be something really positive that we don't see, but it's gonna, you know, like, we're fine. The Dwarfs are fine. This will sort of settle down eventually, and we'll just kind of kick it up again. But I do wonder about how young musicians will fare through this. You know, what it'll mean to them.
Well, you know, part of the thing we talk about, you know, music is social, right? And
sure.
Playing in a band is very social. It's like, you know, brothers, you know, that you put together and work with, and continue. The people who you like and are very fond of. And, you know, we talked about a few people you play with before this, and, you know, they're the greatest people. Some of the, you know, people who I've played with, and Joey's played with, and Lenny's had in the bar. I mean, we've met people who are absolutely of the advice, don't be a dick, short of me. But you know what? I mean, that's
you should have listened. You know,
he does not.
I'm too far gone. I'm too far gone. But yeah, you know, I have somebody who lives locally here who's a guitar playing teacher, and what he teaches a lot of the younger folks here, and he's an amazing musician. But what he does is, what he did was, every couple of months there's a local music venue here. He would take Sunday afternoons and put all the kids up, and they would all play
great
different. It's incredible. I go all the time. In fact, we all go. You know, all the music people here where I live, and support this, and it's so great because, you know, what was it like the first couple of times you played? It's still magic, but I mean, then it's nerves. It's you know, do you have your chord? Do you have where your picks? You know, all the stuff that you know you. Well,
I still do that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting there going, what do I do with that pick?
Yeah.
You know, but you learn all these things, and, you know, I come and support them. I get tons of, you know, when I order things, extra cables come, right? And there's extra power cords. I give them to this gentleman and say, here, keep these to the side, because they will forever lose this shit, as we do.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So here, take these, and it's so great. And again, like you said, to be young and not be able to do the collaboration and the starting of this is it's huge. I
wonder how it'll play out. And like I said, I'm sure there are things that we can't see coming that are also really great. But, you know, I do, like, when I think of myself at 22 or 20, I mean, I was all about being in a room with people and collaborating. So it's a mystery to me how this will play out, and we'll see. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up something real quick. We're doing a new stream service. So we were, if anybody's watched the show before, we'd always had some difficult dual streaming because we were going to Facebook and to YouTube. And, so we're using a new service. So we send one stream now, and then that service sends out multiple streams. It's so much easier for us. We're trying to do it for some more. in my ultimate wisdom, I had set us up originally with a link for this live show up on YouTube, and the new streaming service sets up its own link. So I'm just up on Facebook now posting that it's at a new link. It's at a new link. So I'm sending out the link. So Steve was having a hard time joining. So Steve Lynch is trying to join. I also let him know that we sent him a link to join us here as well.
I owe him money. Keep him away.
Oh no, we're not going to. Steve, never mind, Steve. Go away. Go to the old link.
Everybody, when he comes on, everybody freeze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he'll think that, oh shit, it's not working again.
It'll be that same damn problem they had when I was playing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We figured out that was the thing too. Is Steve came on and to show people a lot of stuff, and that guy is a ridiculous player. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not a guitar player compared to him. I should just like be a golf caddy or something compared to him. I hate that guy, man. He's so good.
Did Steve play when he was on your show?
Yeah.
Did you have a guitar in hand?
Yeah.
And he was using the head rush board. Right, that's the one he was using, I think. Right.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, but when it started to go down to the lower register, the compression that was in Zoom was terrible.
Right.
We figured out later that I needed to send him a way to take the compression off. And like since then, we've had people play, and it's so much better. But poor Steve got the band into the stick.
It doesn't matter what Steve plays through. He's playing is so
it's like
incredible, and like Joey and I spoke earlier today about Steve, and Steve was a part of a wave of. We look at Eddie Van Halen, right, as the sort of the leading proponent of that style of playing, but there's something there. I think there was something in the air, and it was just something that was happening, and Steve was a part of that first wave of players that were doing something that had never been done before, and that's remarkable to me. Like very few of us get to be a part of that kind of a revolution, and Steve was really one of the first guys that was a part of how
one of the pioneers,
one of the guys who changed the way we play guitar. And I joke with Steve that when I was 17, I almost popped a rib trying to play that solo and turn up the radio.
Yeah, and how often does like a song that's a hit get that much recognition with the solo? That was an incredible solo.
I mean, I don't know how often
that year. It was crazy.
I don't know how often you've seen him play live, but every time I see Steve live, I learn something, and it's really
and he
incredible.
Just makes it look so freaking easy.
He does.
Yeah,
and he looks good too.
Oh, yeah, I know. Another one with those blue eyes. Holy shit! Another one. Jesus. So dreamy.
Can he hear us?
He should. He hasn't come in.
He kept his shirt on too, which was good for us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh man. So how long? I love Burton Cummings. And I know you play with him. How long have you been doing that? And how did that happen?
Well, so I play in a band called the Carpet Frogs, which is Burton's backing band.
Okay.
And they have been for 20 years. So I joined the band about 8 or 9 years ago. And I inherited a unique situation where there's 2 guitar players. One of the guys didn't want to do the Burton shows anymore because the Carpet Frogs play as a band doing corporate events and that sort of thing without Burton. So they brought in an outside guitar player to be the second guitar player. So when I joined the band, he still does the Burton gigs. So I only play with Burton when one of the 2 guys can't do it.
Okay.
So I've never wished ill health on guys who I really like so frequently in my life. I never knew it was possible.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. He's the first time I did a rehearsal with him, I'd met him a number of times, and then we rehearsed. And he came in with a Dead Mouse T-shirt on. I mean, and he was talking. Now I might be mixing up stories, but he was so excited. He had just completed his collection of some obscure label that Fats Domino was on here. So he's such a fan, such a consumer of music, that I think that has to be a part of a component in his success.
Right.
And we sat down and we played. Never forget. We played Albert Flasher was the first song, which, if you know the Guess Who was. And when he realized I could play, I'm 4 feet away from him in a small rehearsal room. and sort of sunglasses, and perhaps there was something smoked that I didn't take part in. And then we took a break, and one of the gig we were rehearsing for, the Wallflowers were one of the opening bands.
Wow.
And he said, "Hey, I'd like to meet Jakob Dylan because I know his dad." And I'm like, "Really? I'd love to hear this story." So he said, "Yeah, like in the '70s, Paul McCartney had this tour called Wings Across America."
Yeah.
As if I didn't know, right? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
And I guess the end of the tour, Paul McCartney rented this villa out in West Hollywood, and they had a big party, and that was when Burton and Bob Dylan became friendly. He was in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band, and he's friends with Joe. Like the world that he lives in is really so elite. It's bizarre, Yeah. But what a great musician. Like, he can play and sing. When you're up close to somebody that good, it's like, yeah, of course, that's why he sold all those records, because he's better than everybody else. Like, he really is a force,
Yeah. I agree. You see that when you can see greatness and you can feel it, when you're really near someone who's got that much talent. And it's amazing. He's probably wonderfully humble too, as far as that goes. But
he's sweet, man. I mean, he's lived a life that is like he became a star as a teenager, right? So he's probably never lined up at a bank in his life. So it's a different, so a set of problems for him might be different than they would be for us. So if the towels aren't right, it might be upsetting to him, but I can kind of get it,
Yeah.
Right. It's
right. It's a different reality. I was talking to a friend of mine at dinner, when we used to be able to have dinner together, and
right.
She had been at an awards thing sitting next to Joan Jett. And,
okay.
And my friend Nini, she's very down to earth and great singer songwriter, but she's like, she doesn't even live on the same plane that we do.
Joan, you mean? Yeah.
Because Joan's been a star since she was 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah.
She has never been to the bank, right? I mean, she is, never waited in line. There was nothing. There's nothing, and she says she's great. She's great to hang out with, but there's not. It is a different world. She lives in a completely different world than the rest of us, and I'm sure Burton does too.
So I have now. This sounds like a funny. I guess we're here to drop names. So I got a call last minute.
Absolutely, that's your
to
job.
go play at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Burton, because one of Michael, my dear friend, who's the greatest guitar player who plays with Burton, had something happen. He couldn't do the gig. So I hop in the car, drive overnight to Cleveland. And it was when Glenn Frey died from the Eagles. And so we do this gig. And then the rest of the band, of course, they were on a bus and they all left. So it was just myself and Bert in the hotel room. And we get talking about and he's just like, he's so generous about it. And I said, did you know Glenn Frey? He goes, no, but I know Joe Walsh really well. And I think I mentioned earlier, they played together in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band.
Yeah.
And he said, I have to tell you a funny story about Joe Walsh. And he said they were every town they went to, Joe was off to a meeting, right? And Burton was like, I need to be way more proactive about my business. Like, I got nothing going on, right? And like, it was 2 months later, he realized these were AA meetings. Anyway,
I got a lot going on. In fact, guys, I'm actually late for a meeting right now.
Yeah. God, that guy's got a meeting everywhere he goes.
That's good.
That's great.
I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, he's a great musician, and it's a thrill. And to go down, da 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 da, and see him, it's surreal, man.
How could that not make you just crazy? Just playing that opening riff and being next to him. It's not. You're not in the garage with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, And we got to do a gig in St. John's, Newfoundland, my hometown.
Oh, nice.
My parents came out and met him, and he was really patient and cool with them, and he's a joy to be with, Yeah.
Awesome.
Wonderful, man.
So the let's go back to the Killer Dwarfs. What are
Sure.
you guys up to right now?
So we're, like I said earlier, we're sort of,
It's kind of recording, right?
well,
Or-
Russ and I are writing songs. The band's writing
Okay.
songs, and we're going to make a record, but everything's kind of on hold.
Yeah.
So it's fine. When things pick up, we'll be, we're dying to get at it. It's fun. The things that I miss are like buying $15 Heinekens in airports and like
Yeah.
and checking into hotels. I don't know why it's always a Heineken in an airport. Do you guys find that?
Yeah.
I don't know of all the beers. I really
And
miss-
really crappy fried food. But yeah.
Oh, totally right. And I do miss all of that stuff, right? Just sort of being tired and checking into a hotel and then showing up and seeing Len
Yeah.
at
There
a
you go.
venue. And yeah, I'm
That's
looking forward to however that might work when we get back to something like that.
Right. Awesome.
So are you guys like you and Russ? Are you bouncing around like musical ideas and just
All
getting
the time.
some-
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. And he's great. He's endlessly creative. It just keeps.
He doesn't stop because he's got his solo thing, and he's got that other band. Was it
Yeah.
Penny Black?
Yeah, well, I don't know how active that is, but he's got his solo thing too, and I think he's doing a solo record on Dave's label too. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, Russ is
No.
a force of nature. Russ to me is like one of those guys, like an Angus Young or something. He's such a unique character
Exactly.
in rock and roll. Like,
Ball of energy that just doesn't stop.
dude, the first time I played with the Killer Dwarfs, at the first show, I'd never seen the band, and we rehearsed and we start the show, and he's gone right off the stage. And I'm thinking, where'd the singer go? And he spent, then he would do things like run out to the front of the house and shut the mains off so the PA would go off as a joke, right? And we just watched the sound man try to figure it out. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
thousands of people, right?
Oh my God.
So yeah, Russ is great. He's the best.
That's
It
awesome.
keeps going. Now,
Mm.
I just recently found out that you also played with the band Helix.
I did, yeah.
Wow, I love that band.
Yeah, Helix are great in Canada. They're like they're not on the stamp, but they're close to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were right on the cusp there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember going, man, those guys are cool. They looked really cool. They moved really cool. And I forgot the name of the song. It was a big hit for them that they showed the video for all the time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, there's Heavy Metal Love or Rock You. There's a lot of big hits. They had a lot of hits.
Deep Cuts the
did-
Knife, maybe?
Deep Cuts the Knife is one of them. Yeah.
That's the song. Yeah.
Yeah. I never recorded with Helix, but I did a few tours with them. And there's a bit of trivia. So Rock You, which is a big Helix song,
Yeah.
Russ and Daryl actually sing backup vocals on that track. Give me
Oh,
an
wow.
R. Oh, yeah. They just happen to be in the studio. So they're on that song. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Helix are a great band, and Brian Baumer, the singer, has turned that into this incredible cottage industry where he's taking control of the records, and they don't need to be huge for it to be, worth money. And I really admire him. He's one of those guys. When I was on the road with him, like he would take off his stage clothes, then put on his, go to bed leather pants, like he's, he's not pretending to be that rock and roll, like a Lemmy Kilmister. Like he's one of those. He's so that guy. It's very, very exciting to be around.
Wow.
Helix.
Yeah.
So
And now
we-
you also did some touring work, or maybe even some recording with the singer for I'm Mother Earth.
Yeah, Brian Byrne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another fine Newfoundlander, by the way.
Great
Oh,
vocals.
is he great?
Oh, you
band.
guys would love some of the stuff that he does.
Yeah, Brian Burnsy's a great talent, and I Mother Earth are a big band in Canada and have been since they were sort of part of when Alice in Chains and bands like that showed up. It was the early '90s. They became a big band.
Yeah, I saw them
And,
open for Van Halen.
Yeah, they're a great band, and
Great record.
they had this kind of Latin percussion component, kind of like Santana, but like kind of grungy. They're really cool. Yeah, they were really amazing.
Did you do any recording with them or just touring?
With Brian, we made a few
Yeah.
records. Yeah. Sort of alt country stuff.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed listening from what I listened to. I thought that was really cool.
Thank you, Len. Yeah.
Great singer, yeah. Great songs. Nice and, vibey and stuff.
I have to bring you back to the Carpet Frogs for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Jones, who's the bass player in the Carpet Frogs, he was the first bass player in Rush. And but the band that he was in...
Wait. You can't say that quick. And wait. What?
Yeah, so Jeff was the first bass player in Rush. Before Geddy was in the band.
Before Geddy Lee.
Yeah, so it was Al and John Rutsey and
Yeah,
Jeff.
John Rutsey.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so they're teenagers, right? But Jeff sort of had his first big hit in the late 60s with a band called Ocean, which was Put Your Hand in the Hand of the Man. You probably know the song.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Wow.
So he was like maybe 17 at that time. And Jeff then went on to play in... So he's still the bass player with Burton with the Carpet Frogs. Jeff went on to be in a band called Red Rider, who you might know, Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah.
Tom Cochran is a singer.
Yeah,
Life is a Highway.
Yeah.
So that's Jeff. So about 3 years ago, Jeff gets a call from Alex Lifeson, and Alex Lifeson and Tom Cochran, they both play golf at the super elite golf. And they were doing a fundraiser, and so Al said, "Can we hire the Frogs to be the band? We're going to do a set of Rush songs, and then a set of songs with Tom Cochran." So,
wow.
So I got Russ Dwarf involved, and with Russ singing, we did Limelight, Spirit of Radio, Tom Sawyer, with Alex Lifeson on stage with us. It was the most incredible thing, right? And we did a full day of rehearsals, then we did the show the next day. And he's one of, like Eddie Van Halen, he was my hero, Like when I was in grade 9, I was just pretending I was playing Xanadu on stage instead of being in geography.
God, it must have been surreal walking into the rehearsal, just like that
Right,
first
torn
day.
the snow dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he was so cool, and I said, "Alex, you're one of my heroes. I just want you to know." And he was like, "Yeah," like he hears all the time, right? It wasn't even that big a deal. Like 10 people tell him this a day. But he was so cool. But the best part, there's a lot of good parts about this, but the next day, which was the day of the show, I show up and he's on stage and he goes, "Hey, Jeer," which alone made me want to cry. He called me Jeer. And he goes, "Can you show me those Cochran songs?" Because he wanted to sit in for the night. And I went, "Yeah, of course I will." Right. So I had some notes. And then I'm thinking 14-year-old me is going, "I'm giving Alex Lifeson a guitar lesson."
Yeah, right? Oh my God.
It was such a thrill. And then the Trailer Park Boys were there and we did like Closer to the Heart. I mean, it was ridiculous. And Russ is singing Spirit of Radio and he's singing it perfectly. He sort of sounds like Geddy anyway, and
he can get that register.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's my Al story.
Yeah. So I wanted to let you know that Steve did pipe in. He did find the link on Facebook. So Steve's watching us on Facebook.
Hey, Steve.
There was a lot of people piping up on Facebook. There is.
Yes, I'm watching the Facebook stream and it's perfect.
Yeah, and there's
comments?
it's good. A lot of comments. I'll do some shout outs, and most people are just saying, "Hey, hey Gerry," and shouting out to Killer Dwarfs. You got Edward Lashua.
Oh, Ed, yeah.
Yeah, you know him. Okay, good. You got Diane Robinson.
Ed owes me money.
Okay, Ed. So you can PayPal it directly to Musing Rants and Guitars.
Yeah,
We'll get it to Gerry eventually.
Venmo. We'll take care of you.
Rich, we're getting a lot of hearts all of a sudden. Look at that.
All right, well, for Gerry.
Yeah, Ed sent quite a few things. There's a lot of just like big thumbs up things going here. So we are getting a lot of responses here. That's nice. Great.
So usually where I kick in here is that I really like to know, you grew up, in rural Canada, not rural, but
it was a small town. Yeah,
a small town. So what started you playing, and how did that come about?
Well, didn't you
You know.
originally start with the ukulele?
Well, so that's funny. There's an article. I did an interview where I said, yeah, I was just compelled to get my hands on a guitar, and I eventually, my sister had like a student type guitar that my older sister never played. And I got my hands on that. And I don't know why, I was just compelled to do it. I was just drawn to it, and then of course, I had discovered Kiss, and Ace Frehley to me was, he was like Spider-Man to me. I was a Kiss fan before I played music. So I was 9.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think I started to play when I was about 11, but Ace was like a superhero, right?
I always say no Ace, no me. Much as I, everything else. But if that didn't happen and he didn't appear, I probably would not.
I'm the same, Tommy. Yeah, like I have a cherry sunburst Les Paul exactly because of him.
That was his guitar. Back
yeah,
in the
what?
day.
I like black guitars, but I absolutely set up a black guitar the way he had in one of his pictures. With the cream DiMarzios and that. So that sort of view of him. But
Totally.
people love the sunburst that he did too. Yeah, that's
I have the Peter Frampton custom with the 3 pickups. But to me, it's the Ace guitar with the 3 pickups.
Yeah,
Right?
Frampton was really a great songwriter, but he wasn't Ace.
Ace was just so cool, right? So being 13 or something and thinking
Cooler
Kiss had started the ball rolling, and then it kind of just wanted to go with it. But
it
that was
did,
like